You're probably here because you either failed a test, an exam, or a class. Listen, in this video, I'm not going to tell you highlight important notes, color code your subjects, etc. etc. I'm going to give you straight hard facts, and it is based off of my real life experience. So around 3 years ago, I was called to my principal's office. My dad was called there. And she tells my dad, "How dare your daughter chooses math as a stream to pursue? Don't you know how her marks are? She couldn't even pass the mock test. She barely passed the exam. And you think she has the ability to attempt 11th grade and 12th grade maths? Fine, she selected. What about you? What were you doing when she selected? Why couldn't you tell her that she cannot pass?" And we tried to convince her a lot. And after a lot of convincing, she didn't get convinced. She was like, "I know for sure you're not going to pass. So I want you to sign this contract which says if you fail, we will throw you out." So basically saying, I know 100% you're going to fail, so I'm going to throw you out anyways. And for that, I'm going to take consent now. And that moment broke me. When I walked out of that principal's office, I just had one thing in my mind, that I need to prove this lady wrong. No matter by hook or by crook, I need to prove her wrong. There is no other way out, because this is my future. I cannot let myself fail every time. I somehow passed grade 12 thanks to COVID. I didn't have to attempt the main final exam, but I did attempt the mock test, the class test, and a viva. Yes, we had a viva for math grade. That's how bad our academic year was. The next year I come to India. I was studying in Kuwait before. So when I come to India, I'm like, there is no way I'm going to choose math ever again. Okay, so I chose the easiest of the easiest courses, BBA, because I was told that it is mostly based off of theory and there is very less numericals and just a little bit of accounts. I get into the first sem of the first year, and then I realized there is a subject called quantitative methods of business, and I'm like, probably theory. But no, it was math. And when I realized, I was just like, why? Why is my luck like this? This time it's even more worse because I didn't even choose math. The math chose me. And I was just so worried. And then I remembered something. Everybody in my class is new. Nobody really knows about my life much. Nobody knows I used to fail in my classes. And since I studied in a Gulf country and I was an NRI, everybody just assumed that I was good at studies. So to live up to that name, I decided to concentrate more in class. I started asking more and more doubts in class. And whenever the teacher explains it to me and I understand, I realize that the people nearby me, in the front, in the back, around me, are not able to understand. So I just turn around and explain it to them, and somehow they used to grasp it quickly. Better than a teacher. I'm not saying the teacher was inefficient. I'm just saying that it's just like that. When a student explains to a student, it's more easier to understand. So once I was just sitting with my classmates and we were discussing about the finals, and I was like, I didn't start studying for finals, and Aiesha, you don't have to worry, you're like the topper. In my head, I'm like, what? The last time I was the topper was in like 4th grade too. But I chose to be silent because I pretended like I was naturally good at this subject, and I started helping others out. And when exams were close by, a group of friends asked me to teach them and help them. So I agreed, and I used to teach them the COVID way, that is through Google Meet and screen sharing. And what I used to do is 2 hours before taking the actual class and teaching them, I used to prepare, because I cannot show that I actually don't know. So I need to prepare it myself. I studied, understand it, and then find a way to simplify it so that I can teach them in an easier way where it is easy for them to understand. And then 2 hours later, I take the class. So technically, I will be studying the same thing 2 times. Once by studying for myself and for understanding, and second by teaching it to others. So soon after that semester, my results was 100 out of 100. Like, I literally went from scoring just passed. The passing marks was 35 and I scored a 39. So I barely passed. And we went from barely pass to a straight A. Like, not even like a 97 or a 98. It was 100 on 100. If somebody told me when I was in 10th grade that you will be a topper in math one day, I would laugh at them. I'll say, very nice joke, but you're delusional. because there's no way I would have believed it. You can never really estimate what you're capable of achieving if you really put the worth into you and stand up for your words and actually take action. So, what do you learn from this story of mine? First thing, find your fuel. For me, that principal incident was my fuel. The moment I walked out of that principal's office, I just had one thing in my mind: I need to prove this lady wrong. I can do anything, I can do however far to prove her wrong. She humiliated me for choosing when I had the freedom to choose. I just felt it was so unfair that she was so confident that I will fail that she was ready to sign a consent contract. That was like my breaking point. That was my rock bottom. And I was like, that's it. I need change, and it starts now. Because I'm not going to risk my future just to remain in my comfort zone anymore. This has gone too far. This is where I change. So find your fuel. If you've ever been through an incident which makes you question the purpose of your life, question your whole identity, and makes you question, what am I doing with my life? How did I ever come to this point? Congratulations, you have hit rock bottom. And that is the very first step to success. Change the environment. Now you might say, Aiesha, you went to a different country, a completely different college, a different set of people. It was easy for you. I'm studying the same school. I cannot change anybody, and neither can I afford to go to another country or change schools. What do? Honey, change starts from within. And when I'm speaking of environment, I'm not speaking of the people around you. I'm speaking about the thoughts around your head. First, the change starts from your mindset. Stop thinking you cannot do this. Stop thinking you are dumb. Stop thinking you cannot pass a subject because you're not able to understand, or stop thinking that this subject is too hard for you. Listen, if you really put your mind to anything, there is nothing that is unachievable. You need to attach worth to yourself. The moment you tell that I am capable of achieving anything that I put my mind to, you're giving yourself worth. If you don't give yourself worth, how will others ever see the worth in you? Let's say your ambition is to become a CEO. How is the HR going to hire you if you yourself think you're worthless? Let's say if you want to start a business. How are the customers going to trust you if you yourself think as worthless? How are they going to invest in you? Whatever it is, attach value, attach worth to yourself. When you say, I want to achieve something, complete it. Do whatever it takes. Question yourself. How bad do I want this change to happen? Do I really want it? Am I ready to give up my sleep for it? Am I ready to fix my sleeping schedule? Am I ready to give up hours of mindless social media scrolling? Literally, you have to change your whole identity. Why do I have to change identity to pass a class, you might ask? Listen, if you want to pass a class, you have to change. What are the things you have to change? You have to change your habits, which in turn changes your routine, which in turn changes your identity. So you become a whole different person when you start making tiny, tiny changes. And the very first step begins from believing in yourself. Believing that you can achieve this and it is not that hard. I don't understand why people always limit their beliefs. I believe I can try to pass. Why are you believing that you can just try to pass? Why can't you believe that I can ace this exam? Why are you limiting? Why are you setting boundaries? Listen, achieving needs hard work. Sometimes achieving needs money. Let's say you're starting up a business, it needs some money. But dreaming doesn't need anything. You don't need hard work, neither do you need money. Neither do you need time, neither do you need effort. What does it take for you to dream big? Why aren't you dreaming big? Why aren't you believing in yourself? It doesn't cost anything. It's free. Do not underestimate your capabilities. If you really want something, there is no limit to what you can really achieve. Fake it till you make it. If you see my story, I just pretended like I am really good at this subject. Did I lie about it? No. They assumed it and I just played into the assumption. And there was a point where I was telling, yes, I used to fail this subject. And they used to not believe me because my actions did not match my words. I used to never behave like a student who would fail. A student who would fail would never attend all the classes. A student who would fail would never ask for doubts in class every time. A student who would fail would not teach that subject to their friends. So even when I told them the truth, they were not ready to believe because my actions were speaking otherwise. So you need to act, you need to become what you want to become before you become it. In the sense, let's say you want to become a student who is always at the top with the highest of the marks, then start behaving like them before you even get those highest marks. That's the only way to go about it. Ask for help. I cannot emphasize how important this is. Listen, there are two ways you can ask for help. One, ask God for help. Do you really want it that bad if you don't even ask God for help? Let's say you don't believe in God, you believe in universe, you believe in the higher source or higher energy, whatever it is that you're believing in. Just ask. You have nothing to lose if you ask. Ask it as big as you want. Why do you want to limit it? Just let me pass. Just please help me pass this class, God. Why just pass? When you can ask, I can ace this exam. Why are you limiting yourself again? It's free. You're not paying God to ask help from Him. Then why are you limiting it? The second type of asking is asking help from people who have the knowledge. So let's say you are bad at maths. So you will approach someone who's good at math. Or let's say you don't want to approach anybody. You're not just a person who will go and interact with people. Then you have YouTube. You have the internet, Google. There are so many sources just waiting for you to use them. All you have to do is spend some time and some effort. And that brings me to the next tip. Effort, effort, effort. Listen, I used to study 2 hours before I teach so that I can understand the concept and then teach them. This made my base so much stronger. I'm not only just reading through my text, I am reading to understand because I need to understand to be able to teach. Am I just doing understanding to teach? No, I'm also trying to simplify it so I can teach it in an easier manner. So this way I'm doing 4 things at once. First, I am reading through it, so it's like a revision of what happened during that class today. And then I am understanding it, I am proactively studying, and I'm simplifying it. I'm rephrasing all of this into simpler words where it is easier for me and others to understand. And I'm teaching the same simplified version. This will make your base so strong. That is why in every video that is related to study tips, I tell you, teach your friend, teach your sibling, teach your parent, whoever it may be. If you don't find people, teach a wall, teach imaginary people. If not anything, teach yourself in the mirror. Literally, this tip works wonders. If there's only one tip that I could give the entire world and I was not allowed to give any other tips, this would be the tip that I would give. You might say, fine, I did all of this, but I still didn't succeed. Listen, it's not going to happen in the first try. For some, it might happen in the second. For some, in the third. For some, in the fourth. For some, maybe in the seventh. The key is that you don't give up. You need to start believing that you even have the ability to change your own fate if that is what is required for you to achieve a particular thing. And if you do all of this and you don't give up till you succeed, your success is a foregone conclusion. If you found this helpful, please give this a like and subscribe. This really helps with the engagement of the video, and this video will be reached to many other people who might need to watch this. I hope you all the very best in this journey of success. I will see you again in the next video. Until then, bye-bye.